everyone, it's Vesper Star of As Morning Star, here with another video. And okay, this is the second time I am recording this video, and hopefully I only have to record it twice. The main reason is because I didn't really know how to word this video, and I went off on tangents. But it's still a video I really want to cover on my channel, so people know where I'm coming from when I talk about working with the spirits that I work with. That being said, I do want to have a brief disclaimer in this video before I start. That's why the other one kind of went off, because I didn't know where to kind of stick this disclaimer, and I just kept repeating this, and it's very disingenuous to myself and others who practice this if I dwell on this subject. But on the subject of mental health, please be careful. This work isn't for everyone. It is very easy to kind of lose yourself in the sauce, if you will. Okay, so a brief disclaimer is, I am not a doctor. I cannot help you with your mental health. If you're having unhealthy thoughts and the spiritual stuff is kind of affecting you in a negative way, please maybe take a step back, and if need be, go see a doctor or therapist. Thank you. So that being said, spirit communication, how does it work? I see a lot on apps like TikTok and stuff. People will often do skits of themselves talking with their deities, and while these are pretty fun, they are skits, and usually they are exaggerated. And I do tend to see a lot of newcomers to witchcraft or paganism in the comments being very confused and wondering how it is, and like, some newcomers do feel very discouraged when they can't exactly see or hear their deities, like some of these more spirit practitioners tend to come off as. Well, the main ways for newcomers to speak with their deities is usually through divination, like tarot cards or using a pendulum. You know, usually you'll ask a question to this specific spirit and shuffle the cards and look, and you know, you'll get your answer that way. And sometimes when you're new, you have to try it. You have to really get the hang of it first. And pendulums are usually for yes or no questions, unless you have a pendulum board that has letters on it, and it'll go to each letter. Again, it's not very conclusive way of talking with them, because I disregard everything that Lucifer told me in the beginning of my practice when I used a pendulum, just because I was so new to it, and it takes you a while to learn how to properly get conclusive answers. And that's just a part of the path. Like, there's nothing wrong. It just means that you're learning. That being said, there are also clairsenses that people will work on to improve, that help them better communicate with spirits. So that being clairvoyancy, clairsentience, and clairaudience, which are the most common ones, but there's a slew of more. So clairvoyancy is when you can see stuff, sentience is when you can feel stuff, and clairaudience is when you can hear stuff. And some people will be very high and mighty and say you have to be born with these talents. But myself and a lot of others completely believe that these are just skills that everyone has that they just have to work on. And the main way a lot of people work on these is through meditation, where they just kind of flex these spiritual muscles, as you will. And it kind of just happens naturally, at least for me it did. Like, I would just meditate, and my meditations would always just be like blank and, you know, trying to clear my mind. But that's actually not the only way to meditate. And I feel like meditation gets a bad reputation because a lot of people just assume it's kind of just sitting there or laying there and trying to clear your mind. But when you work with spirits, you can actually have them take you on guided meditations, which is basically kind of like advanced daydreaming, but you're not in control of the things that happen. The spirit is. So, try and maybe only do that with spirits that you're getting to know better. With my own meditations, I would try to clear my mind, but eventually I got to the point where I just kind of let Lucifer take the reins, and actually that's kind of my favorite way to meditate, because you can have them just take you places. I've been to like castles and forests and caves and a lot of wild places just in my meditations. And I mentioned astral temples in my working with deities and secret video, I believe. So that's also a way you can work on your astral temple. It can be a form of meditation, and you can go there and interact with the spirits as well. So when people say that they see, hear, or feel the spirits around them, touching them, talking to them, etc., it's not actually like a very physical, like that spirit has manifested and is there like a physical person. So they're still mainly energy. So usually when a spirit is talking to someone and they hear them with clairaudience, sometimes you just hear a random like high-pitched ringing. It depends on the spirit and how far along you are in your skill set. But usually it's an internal thing where you will get random phrases or words in your head, and you can kind of instinctual tell that wasn't my thought. When I first started working with Lucifer, I was working in the line of a factory, so I was just by myself 10 hours a day. I was working, and I randomly get this strong word that's just like, bananas. And I'm like, what? But I was still kind of new to my practice, so that was his way of telling me I need to have more potassium in my diet. Lucifer is a stickler spirit for health. So that's kind of how it is. With clairsentience, which is actually something that I didn't necessarily have to activate, because I was naturally a little bit clairsentience, which is when you kind of get vibes. You kind of feel stuff, but you also get vibes. So clairsentience, if I can feel when there's a spirit or something in the room. They usually, it's a weird feeling. It's usually like that feeling of being watched, but you can't see anyone in the room. And it's like, I feel like there's someone standing next to me, but there's no one there. It's kind of like that. And when you get better, you can kind of reach out, and you might feel like heat, or your hand will like tingle. It's a very wild feeling. Or like if a spirit comes up and just kind of touches my arm, you kind of feel like a light weight. Sometimes it'll just be like and it's like, what? Also, that being said, these are all my personal beliefs, and other people do believe this as well, but some people don't see these spirits as being able to condense themselves into like one area, and to them they're more like everywhere all the time, and that is also valid. Again, this is just my beliefs and how I experience the spirits. And as for like clairvoyancy, seeing them, I think clairvoyancy is also gets misrepresented. A lot of people think it's just seeing the future, but it's being able to see spirits and stuff. Maybe the future thing is also accurate. I'm not quite sure. So with clairvoyancy, if someone says they saw like Lucifer just sitting on their bed, that doesn't mean he was physically there. Usually how that works is you get the image in your head of that spirit doing something around your room or whatever. And it's just like a daydream type image, but but the difference between like something your own mind conjures up between like the spirit sending you the image is that like I'll be sitting at my desk doing my own thing, and I'll randomly get the image of like Lucifer standing there just watching me, and I'm just like, oh, hello, sir. But also it can be more physical because, you know, with Lucifer especially, sometimes I will just randomly see sparkles, and it's like, hello, Luce, how are you doing today? And, you know, with darker entities, you might see shadows and, like, stuff like that. In the dark, you could see, like, ripples and stuff. And so, yeah, that's kind of how spirit communication works in some branches of polytheism, paganism, and witchcraft. So I just wanted to make this video explaining that. So when I speak about communicating with some of these spirits in my other videos, everyone kind of knows how it works and where I'm coming from. I do think I like how this take came out a lot better than my last one. That one was all over the place, but this felt more snowy. Alright, that being said, if you have any questions about this, feel free to leave them down in the comments and I will be sure to answer. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!